"Driver, move." Sam's voice was low, but it shook. He was sitting at the back seat of his expensive black SUV, air conditioner cold, leather seats soft, the city road smooth under the tires. Beside him sat Cynthia, his wife, looking perfect in her fine clothes and gold jewelry, her hair neat like she was going to a party. Outside, the sun was bright. Cars were passing, people were walking, and right there, in the middle of the road, an old woman raised both hands and waved like her whole life depended on it. "Sam," she cried, her voice breaking, "my son. Sam, it's me. It's your mother." Madame Annabel. She was old. Her blue lace dress was torn and faded. Her grey hair was scattered and rough, like she had not combed it in days. Her slippers looked tired. Her face looked tired too. But her eyes were full of hope. Because she had recognized the SUV, and she had recognized the man behind the tinted glass. Her only child, the son she raised alone, the son who used to run to her when thunder sounded, the son who used to hug her waist and say, "Mummy, I will never leave you." Madame Annabel took one step forward, still waving, smiling through tears. She thought her prayers had finally worked. She thought, maybe he has come back to his senses. Then Cynthia leaned closer to Sam and smiled, slow and sharp. "Why is that witch waving like a mad person?" Cynthia asked. Sam's throat tightened. "Don't call her that," he said, but his voice was weak. Cynthia laughed like it was a joke. "Sam, don't be foolish," she said. "That woman is trying to trap you again. Look at her drama. She wants you to stop so she can do something to you." Sam looked at his mother again. Madame Annabel was now closer to the car. She was smiling, still waving, her mouth moving like she was calling blessings. "Sam, stop. Please stop." Sam's heart beat fast. The driver slowed down a little because the old woman was right in front of them. Madame Annabel came to the side of the SUV, bending a little to see through the open window. Her face lit up when she saw Sam clearly. "My son," she whispered, her voice shaking. "You're alive. You're fine. Thank God. Sam, please talk to me." Her hands reached out, not to grab, not to fight, just to touch her son's hand like she used to. Sam stared at her hand, his lips opened, but no words came out. Cynthia leaned forward, her eyes cold and bold. "Madam," Cynthia said loudly, "move away from this car." Madame Annabel blinked. She looked at Cynthia like she did not understand. "Cynthia, my daughter," she said softly. "Please, I'm not fighting. I just want to talk to my son. I miss him." Cynthia laughed again. Then she turned to Sam and whispered, "If you stop now, you will regret it. This is how witches start. She will pretend to cry, then she will touch you, then your life will enter darkness. Do you want to die before your time?" Sam swallowed hard. His eyes moved from Cynthia's face to his mother's face. Madame Annabel was smiling weakly, tears rolling down her cheeks. "My son," she begged, "I did not do anything to you. I swear to you. Why are you running from me? I am your mother." Sam's hands shook slightly on his lap. In his mind, he saw his childhood. He saw his mother selling food by the roadside to pay his school fees. He saw her staying awake when he had malaria. He saw her crying when he got his first job. He saw her dancing when he built his first house. But Cynthia's voice cut through his memories like a knife. "She is acting," Cynthia whispered. "Sam, don't disgrace me. People are watching. Show her you are not weak." Sam looked outside. Yes, people were watching. Some drivers had slowed down. A woman carrying a baby stopped and stared. Two boys by the roadside pointed at the expensive SUV. Madame Annabel wiped her tears with the back of her hand, still standing close like she refused to believe her son would reject her. Sam's chest felt like it was burning. He wanted to tell Cynthia to be quiet. He wanted to open the door and step out. He wanted to hold his mother's hands. But he remembered all the things Cynthia had been telling him for months. "Your mother is jealous of you. She wants to control you. She doesn't like me. She is a witch. That's why you keep having bad dreams." Sam's mouth became dry. Then Cynthia said the words that pushed him over the edge. "If you talk to her today, don't come home with me," Cynthia said. "Choose." Sam's eyes widened. "Cynthia," he whispered. She sat back and folded her arms. "I'm serious," she said. "Choose." Sam felt trapped. He loved his wife. He wanted peace in his home. He wanted a clean life without stress, and he feared the stories Cynthia had poured into his ears like poison. Madame Annabel pressed her palm gently against the car door. "Sam," she cried, "talk to me, even if it is one word. Just one word." Sam's eyes were wet now. He forced his face to become hard. He cleared his throat. Then he spoke, loud enough for his mother to hear. "I don't know you," Sam said. The words landed like a slap. Madame Annabel froze. Her smile vanished. Her eyes widened, as if she did not understand the language he spoke. "What? What did you say?" she whispered. Sam's heart broke, but he refused to show it. "I said I don't know you," he repeated, his voice shaking. "Stop disturbing me." Madame Annabel's knees almost gave way. Her lips trembled. "My son," she whispered. "Sam, it's me, your mother." Cynthia covered her mouth and laughed. She laughed like it was the funniest thing in the world. "Driver," Cynthia said, still laughing, "please, zoom off, before this witch brings bad luck." The driver hesitated. Sam stared straight ahead, breathing hard. Madame Annabel stepped back slowly, as if the words had pushed her back. Her hands were still raised, but now they were shaking. Tears ran down her cheeks like rain. "Sam," she cried again, "even if you hate me, don't leave me like this." Sam clenched his fists. He could not look at her face again. "Move," Sam told the driver, his voice cold. The driver obeyed. The SUV moved forward. Madame Annabel ran 2 steps after it, her feet dragging on the road. "Sam, Sam, please." But the SUV was already picking speed. Inside the car, Cynthia was still laughing, wiping fake tears from her eyes like she had won a battle. Sam's eyes stayed fixed ahead, but his face was stiff, his chest was tight, his throat hurt like he had swallowed stones. Outside, Madame Annabel stopped running. She stood on the roadside, small and lonely. Cars passed behind her. Dust rose around her slippers. Her hands fell slowly to her sides. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out at first. Then a deep cry came from her chest, painful and raw. She sank to her knees right there on the walkway, crying like a woman whose whole world had been taken. And as the SUV disappeared into the distance, Madame Annabel lifted her face to the sky, her voice trembling, and she whispered words Sam did not hear. Words that sounded like a prayer or a curse. And in that same moment, inside the speeding SUV, Sam suddenly felt a sharp, strange pain in his chest, so sudden that he grabbed his shirt and gasped. Cynthia's laughter stopped. "Sam," she asked, alarmed, "what is it?" Sam opened his mouth to answer, but before he could speak, his phone rang. The screen showed an unknown number. Sam's fingers shook as he picked up. "Hello?" he said. A woman's voice came through, urgent and frightened. "Is this Sam Okafor?" the voice asked. "Please, your mother just collapsed on the roadside." Sam's breath stopped, his whole body went cold, and Cynthia, sitting beside him, leaned in and hissed, "Don't you dare turn this car around." Sam's hand trembled as he held the phone to his ear. "Collapsed?" he repeated, his voice barely above a whisper. "What do you mean she collapsed?" The woman on the line sounded breathless. "She was crying on the roadside," she said quickly. "She tried to stand up, then she fell. People gathered. We don't know what happened to her. Please come." Sam closed his eyes. His chest felt tight again. Inside his mind, the image of his mother kneeling on the road replayed again and again. Her raised hands, her broken smile, her shaking voice. Before he could say another word, Cynthia grabbed his wrist and pulled the phone away from his ear. "Hello?" Cynthia snapped into the phone. "You people should stop disturbing us." The woman tried to speak again, but Cynthia cut her off. "Madam, whatever drama you are planning, it will not work," Cynthia said sharply. "My husband is not coming anywhere." Then she ended the call. Sam stared at her in shock. "Why did you do that?" he asked, his voice shaking. Cynthia turned to face him calmly. "Sam, listen to yourself," she said. "Collapsed? On the exact day you refused to stop for her. Does that not sound planned to you?" Sam swallowed hard. "What if it's real?" he asked. "What if she's really sick?" Cynthia scoffed. "She has been acting sick since the day I entered your life," she said. That woman wants to control you. She wants to separate us. If you go there now and something happens to you, don't say I didn't warn you." Sam looked away, staring through the window. The road stretched ahead, long and quiet. His mind was not quiet. He remembered nights when his mother would cough and still wake up early to cook for him. He remembered how thin she had grown in recent years. "What if she dies?" Sam asked suddenly, his voice breaking. Cynthia laughed softly. "Sam, witches don't die easily," she said. "Relax." Those words landed heavy in Sam's chest, but he said nothing. The SUV drove on. That night, Sam could not sleep. He lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling, turning from side to side. Cynthia slept peacefully beside him, breathing slowly like nothing had happened. Sam's phone buzzed once, then again, unknown numbers. He did not answer. He told himself he would call back in the morning. Morning came. Sam woke up late with a heavy head. For a moment, he forgot everything. Then the memory of his mother on the road hit him again. He reached for his phone. 10 missed calls. 3 text messages, all from unknown numbers. His heart beat faster as he opened the first message. "Please come. Your mother is very weak." The second message read, "She has not opened her eyes since yesterday." The third message came with no words, just a missed call alert. Sam sat up. His hands were cold. He stood up from the bed and began to dress quickly. Cynthia stirred and opened her eyes. "Where are you going?" she asked lazily. "I need to check on my mother," Sam said, not looking at her. "Something is not right." Cynthia sat up sharply. "Sam," she said, her tone changing. "Sit down." Sam paused. "Sit down," Cynthia repeated. Sam slowly sat on the edge of the bed. Cynthia moved closer, her voice calm again. "My love," she said softly, placing a hand on his arm, "listen to me. If you go there, you will regret it." Sam looked at her. "How?" he asked. "She wants to use sickness to pull you back," Cynthia said. "Today it is sickness. Tomorrow it will be hospital. Next week, burial. That's how witches trap their children." Sam frowned. "That's not fair," he said quietly. "She is my mother." Cynthia's eyes hardened for a second, then softened again. "And I am your wife," she said. "The Bible says a man should leave his parents and cleave to his wife." Sam felt confused. "What if she really dies?" he asked again. Cynthia smiled gently. "Then God knows best," she said. "But if you go there now, you are choosing her over me." The room went silent. Sam felt like the walls were closing in. He loved his wife. He feared losing his marriage. He feared being called weak. Slowly, painfully, Sam picked up his phone. He blocked the unknown numbers, one by one. Then he dropped the phone on the bed. "I won't go," he said, his voice flat. Cynthia smiled and hugged him tightly. "That's my husband," she whispered. But Sam did not feel peace. Days passed. Madame Annabel did not call again. No messages came. The silence felt heavy. At work, Sam could not focus. He made mistakes. He snapped at his staff. At night, he dreamed of his mother calling his name from far away. Each time he woke up sweating. 1 week passed, then another. One evening, Sam was sitting alone in his study. The house was quiet. Cynthia was out visiting friends. Sam stared at old photos on his laptop. There was one picture of him and his mother, taken years ago. She was smiling widely, holding his shoulders proudly. A strange sadness filled his chest. Just then, his phone rang. Unknown number. Sam hesitated, then he answered. "Hello?" There was silence on the line for a few seconds. Then a man's voice spoke, slow and cold. "Sam Okafor?" "Yes," Sam replied. "Your mother is dead." The words hit him like thunder. "What?" Sam whispered. "What did you say?" But the call had already ended. Sam stared at the phone. His ears rang. His body felt numb. "No," he whispered. "No, this can't be real." His legs gave way. He fell to the floor, the phone slipping from his hand. Images flooded his mind. His mother waving, crying, falling. He screamed, a loud, painful scream that filled the empty house. For the first time since he got married, Sam cried like a child. He did not call Cynthia. He did not tell anyone. He stood up, wiped his tears, grabbed his car keys, and walked out of the house. That night, Sam drove straight toward the outskirts of town. toward the small house where his mother lived. With every mile, his heart beat faster. With every mile, regret burned deeper. And as he turned onto the dusty road leading to her home, a terrible fear wrapped around him. Fear that he was already too late to say the words he should have spoken when she was still alive. The road to the outskirts of town was dark and quiet. Sam's headlights cut through the night as his car bounced gently on the untarred road. Dust rose behind him like a shadow that refused to leave. His hands were tight on the steering wheel, his eyes burning with tears he could no longer stop. "Please let it not be true," he whispered again and again. "Please, God, let it not be true." But deep inside, Sam already knew. The small house came into view at last. It was the same house, the same old zinc roof, the same mango tree by the side. But something was wrong. There were people outside, too many people. Men stood quietly with their caps in their hands. Women sat on low stools, their faces tired and heavy. A lantern burned weakly near the door. Sam parked and stepped out of the car. The moment his feet touched the ground, the murmuring stopped. All eyes turned to him. Some people recognized him immediately. "That is her son," someone whispered. Sam walked forward slowly, his legs weak. No one stopped him. No one greeted him. They only watched. Inside the room, the air was thick and hot. The small bulb on the ceiling flickered. The smell of herbs and old mats filled his nose. And there, on the floor, lay Madame Annabel. She was wrapped in white cloth. Her face was calm, too still. Sam dropped to his knees. "No," he whispered. "No, no, no." He crawled closer, his hands shaking as he pulled the cloth slightly away from her face. "Mummy," he cried, "Mummy, open your eyes." Her skin was cold, too cold. Sam screamed, a loud, broken scream that shook his whole body. He held her hands tightly, rocking back and forth like a child. "I'm here," he cried. "I'm here now. Please wake up. I will listen. I will do anything you say." Tears poured from his eyes and dropped onto her still hands. "I was stupid," he sobbed. "I believed lies. I let them turn me against you. Please forgive me." But Madame Annabel did not move. She did not breathe. She did not speak. The room stayed silent. One of the women stepped forward gently. "She called your name many times," the woman said softly. "Even when she was weak, she kept saying, 'Sam will come.'" Sam's chest tightened painfully. Another man spoke from the corner. "She collapsed the day she cried on the road," he said. "We brought her home. She never really recovered." Sam bowed his head. "What? What happened before she died?" he asked, his voice shaking. The woman hesitated, then answered. "She prayed," she said, "and she cried." Sam looked up sharply. "She said, 'God, I carried this child alone. I fed him when I had nothing. If I have offended him, forgive me. But if he has abandoned me unjustly, judge between us.'" Sam's heart stopped. Another elder nodded slowly. "She did not curse with her mouth," the man said, "but the pain in her heart spoke louder than words." Sam covered his face and cried again. Hours passed like minutes. When dawn came, Sam was still sitting beside his mother's body. He had not slept. He had not eaten. When the first cock crowed, he finally stood up, weak and empty. He made the calls. He signed the papers. He paid for the burial arrangements. Only then did he return home. Cynthia was in the living room when he entered. She looked up and frowned. "Where did you go?" she asked. "You left without telling me." Sam stood still. His eyes were red. His face looked older. "My mother is dead," he said quietly. Cynthia froze for half a second. Then she sighed. She said. "I told you she was pretending before." Sam stared at her in disbelief. "She is dead," he repeated. "I saw her body." Cynthia shrugged lightly. "Well," she said, "at least you're free now. No more bad dreams. No more problems." Something inside Sam cracked. "She died alone," he said slowly. "She died calling my name." Cynthia waved it off. "Sam, don't start this drama," she said. "Death happens. Let's focus on our future." Sam said nothing. The next day was the burial. People came from different places. Madame Annabel was laid into the ground quietly. Sam stood like a statue. Cynthia stood beside him, dressed well, dry-eyed, checking her phone from time to time. After the burial, as people began to leave, an elderly man called Sam aside. It was Namdi Okoro, the eldest man in the family. He held Sam's hand firmly. "My son," the old man said, looking deep into his eyes, "your mother suffered greatly." Sam bowed his head. "I know," he whispered. "She died with pain in her heart." Namdi Okoro continued. "Before she closed her eyes, she asked God to judge between you and her. That is not a small thing." Sam's body shook. "You must appease her spirit," the old man said. "Go and seek forgiveness. Make peace while there is still time." Cynthia walked up suddenly. "Sir," she said sharply, "with all respect, these are old stories. People are just looking for ways to take advantage of my husband." Namdi Okoro turned to her slowly. "Young woman," he said calmly, "some things cannot be laughed away." Cynthia smiled politely. "Thank you, sir," she said, "but we will be fine." She pulled Sam toward the car. Inside the car, Sam was quiet. The road home was long. Cynthia broke the silence. "Don't listen to those old hungry people," she said. "They are angry because you didn't share money." Sam stared ahead. He remembered the old man's words. "Judge between us." Something cold moved inside his chest. But again, he said nothing, and as the car sped away from the village, Sam did not know that this was the last chance he would ever have to make things right, because the consequences of ignoring that warning were already moving toward him, quietly and patiently, like fire waiting for dry grass. At first, nothing happened. That was what made it dangerous. The days after the burial passed quietly. Sam returned to work. His company continued to run. Meetings were held, contracts were signed, money still came in. And slowly Sam began to believe Cynthia was right. Maybe the elders were only talking, he thought. Maybe nothing will happen. But peace did not return to his heart. At night, Sam could not sleep well. Each time he closed his eyes, he saw his mother standing by the roadside, waving. Sometimes she was silent. Other times she called his name softly, like she was tired of shouting. He would wake up sweating, his heart racing. "Bad dreams again?" Cynthia would ask casually. Sam would nod. She would smile and say, "It will pass." But it did not pass. One morning, Sam was in his office when his secretary rushed in, her face pale. "Sir," she said quickly, "there is a problem." Sam looked up. "What kind of problem?" "The goods from abroad," she said. "The shipment." Sam frowned. "What about it?" "There was an accident at sea," she said slowly. "The ship, it capsized." Sam stood up at once. "What do you mean capsized?" he asked sharply. "The ship ran into a storm," she said. "Many containers were lost." Sam's heart skipped. "How many?" he asked. She swallowed. "All of ours, sir." The room began to spin. "That's impossible," Sam said. "Those goods are insured. They are worth millions." "Yes, sir," she said quietly, "but the insurance company says there is a clause issue. They are still reviewing." Sam sank back into his chair. Millions. Gone. "That night," he told Cynthia. She rolled her eyes. "Is that why your face looks like this?" she asked. "Sam, business has ups and downs. Stop panicking." "But this is big," Sam said. "Very big." "You worry too much," she replied. "You're still rich." Sam nodded slowly, but fear had already entered his heart. 3 days later, another blow came. Sam was at home when his phone rang non-stop. It was his operations manager. "Sir," the man shouted into the phone, "there's fire. The factory is on fire." Sam froze. "What fire?" he yelled. "How?" "We don't know yet," the man cried. "It started suddenly. Everything is burning." Sam grabbed his keys and ran out. By the time he arrived, thick smoke filled the sky. Flames danced like angry spirits. Workers stood outside, crying and shouting. Firefighters struggled, but the fire was too strong. Sam watched in shock as his company, his pride, his years of hard work, burned to ashes. He dropped to his knees. "No, no, no," he whispered. Cynthia arrived later, stepping out of the car with her face tight. She looked around, then looked at Sam. "This is bad," she said. "That was all." In the days that followed, bad news came one after another. Banks began to call. Creditors showed up. Court letters arrived. Debts he never thought would touch him now knocked loudly at his door. Sam sold cars. He sold properties. Still, it was not enough. One evening, as Sam sat alone in the living room, his hands shaking, he remembered the words of Namdi Okoro. Appease her spirit, seek forgiveness. His chest tightened. He looked at Cynthia, who was scrolling through her phone happily. Cynthia, Sam said slowly, what if the elders were right? She laughed loudly. Sam, have you gone mad? She asked. So now you believe curses caused fire and storms? Sam looked away. I just feel like everything started after my mother died, he said, after I ignored her. Cynthia's smile faded. Don't bring that woman into our problems, she snapped. You're weak because you're thinking too much. That night, Sam could not sleep. He got up and went to the living room. He knelt for the first time in years. Mummy, he whispered, tears rolling down his face. If you can hear me, forgive me. I was blind. But the house remained silent. The next afternoon, Sam returned home early. The gate was open. That was strange. He entered the house. The living room was empty. Too empty. The television was gone. The expensive chairs were gone. Even the curtains were missing. Sam's heart began to pound. He rushed to the bedroom. The wardrobe was open. Cynthia's clothes were gone. Her shoes were gone. Her bags were gone. Only Sam's old clothes remained. On the bed lay a small envelope. With shaking hands, Sam opened it. Inside was a short note. Sam, I can't suffer with you. I married success, not failure. I've moved on. Please don't look for me. Sam dropped the paper. His legs failed him. He sat on the floor, staring at nothing. His phone buzzed. A message came in from an unknown number. She has traveled abroad with another man. Sam covered his face. For the first time, he truly understood. Cynthia never loved him. She loved his wealth. And now, his mother was gone. His business was gone. His wife was gone. And he was completely alone. As night fell, Sam sat in the dark, whispering to himself, "What have I done?" And far away, in the quiet village he once rejected, the land waited for him, because the final stage of his downfall and the beginning of his punishment was about to begin. Sam did not know how long he sat there on the floor. The house was silent. No laughter, no footsteps, no voice calling his name. Only memories. He slowly stood up and walked around the empty house. Every corner reminded him of something he once had. The fine furniture was gone, the decorations were gone. Even the smell of the house felt strange. This was the same house where he once felt powerful. Now it felt like a prison. That night, Sam slept on the bare floor. He had no strength to cry again. His tears were finished. The next morning, creditors came again. There was nothing left to give them. By the end of the week, Sam lost the house too. With only a small bag of clothes, Sam left the city quietly. No driver, no security, no luxury car. He took a bus. For the first time in many years, he sat among strangers, holding his bag tightly like a poor man, afraid of losing the little he had left. The bus moved slowly, away from the city, away from pride, away from lies, and toward the village. When Sam arrived at the village, people stared at him. Some recognized him, some whispered. "That is Madame Annabelle's son," someone said. Sam kept his head down. He walked to the small land his mother once used to farm behind the house. The weeds had grown tall. The soil was dry and rough. This was where his mother used to work with her weak hands, even when her body was tired. Sam dropped his bag and knelt. For the second time in his life, he cried without holding back. "Mummy," he sobbed, "I am sorry." Days turned into weeks. Sam began to farm. His hands blistered, his back hurt. The sun burned his skin, but he did not complain. Each time he planted seeds, he remembered his mother bending on the same land. Each time he harvested small crops, he remembered how she once struggled to feed him. At night, Sam sat outside alone, looking at the sky. He spoke to his mother like she was sitting beside him. "I should have protected you," he said one night. "I chose wrong. I listened to lies." The villagers watched him quietly. Some pitied him. Some shook their heads. One evening, an elderly woman came to him. "Your mother loved you very much," she said gently. "Even when she was sick, she never stopped hoping you would come." Those words broke Sam again. Months passed. Sam became thinner, older, humbler. One afternoon, as he worked on the farm, he suddenly stopped. He remembered who he used to be, the big offices, the expensive suits, the respect. And he remembered why he lost it all. Not because of storms, not because of fire, but because he denied the woman who gave him life. Sam sat on the ground and covered his face. "I hope my story warns others," he whispered. "No matter how far you go, never abandon your mother." The wind moved softly through the trees, the land stayed quiet, and in that silence, Sam understood the deepest truth of his life. Some lessons come with money. Some come with pain. But the most painful lessons come when it is too late to say "I'm sorry" to the one person who loved you without conditions. And as Sam rose slowly to continue his work on the farm, a question hung heavy in the air. Would forgiveness ever come, or would this loss follow him for the rest of his life? If you like this story, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.